In my eyes, I'm not interested in turning RS3 into more old school RuneScape. If I wanted to play something more like old school, I would just play old school. Yeah, I totally get that. When it comes to like, is RuneScape becoming more like old school? I think about it more of like RuneScape coming back to like RuneScape, right? Like I play both games. I've played RuneScape for a way longer time than I have for old school. I started playing old school about 6 months ago. And it is fundamentally a very different game. The gear progression is different, the goals are different, the attitude is different, the atmosphere is different, and the overall vibe of like the people that you interact with is different, right? I have a little bit of different experience when it comes to playing old school because I started playing old school as a means to try for content. I was streaming it, and I have friends that play old school as well. So I have a very yo, back to back loot is crazy. I go in with a different experience from the average Joe who's going in with like no experience, right? And the thing that old school does very good, in my opinion, is that because there is no microtransaction stuff that it introduced, and it's just slower, you do have a sense of achievement. But I do truly believe that sense of achievement is purely from the time sunk fallacy of what the fuck am I doing? I'm chopping trees for 7 hours. I'm finally level 60. I finally got 55 fire making. I just got done doing with the Warriors Guild for 8 hours. I finally got this Dragon Defender. Like, it takes such a long time to get that dopamine hit, and the frustration that is born from that is the dopamine that is provided after you've actually achieved that thing. RuneScape does the same exact thing. Have you gone for curses? Have you gone for soul split? Have you tried to get your very first terror bird before? Have you gone for your very first war tortoise before? Have you gone to try and get your have you Iron Manned your own set of gear before? Like, these are all things that take a long time to get that you cannot buy. These are things that take a long time and investment from your end as the player. It's the same exact thing. It takes a long time to get it. But the thing where that has changed when it comes to like the cores, like the upgrades you achieve in the game that are pure to your account, they will last you the entirety of your account, right? It's the same way for old school as well. But the thing about regular RuneScape is that a lot of your core skills, like anything that you would get from your skilling tab, you could have microtransactions your way through some of it. So I can see how that idea of going for a grind could feel diluted because some people did that. Iron Men don't care about them. They just played the game and they're just existing, right? And they get different experiences, and then the way that they experience a lot of content ends up being that they're just going through it. Now, I think the old schoolification is really that people are talking about is just change that they're experiencing. Because there is going to be a lot of change in this game to kind of bring it back to what the roots are. And again, I hate trying to sound like an old geezer that's been playing this game forever. I do my best to try and provide like a very neutral idea of it. But I think that it really is important to kind of get the core identity of like, yo, dude, the gameplay loop of this is some things are grindy, some things have a different kind of loop of how you get your XP, how you acquire X through doing X. And those things are really, really cool, right? I think that if RuneScape just kind of boils down and makes a cleaner, a better overall gameplay loop, we're golden. Because I think a lot of people complain about is the gameplay loop. They don't really realize it. Like the core gameplay loop of how the game plays, there's a lot of it that is just janky. That's why I think fixing the early game is really important. So I think trying to adjust and accommodate a lot of these things and trying to fix up a lot of these things is really important. And it does feel like, okay, you're making the game slower, making it feel a little more like a drag. And I get that. I get that. But I think that if the gameplay loops are fixed, which again, this is where some of the upset, the anger and frustration is coming from the community, is that like, hey, they're trying to do all these things without implementing a actual replacement for these things, an improvement for these things. You're just nerfing a bunch of things. And that is frustrating in itself because no player of any video game likes to be nerfed. Players never like to be brought down. Players only like to either be brought sideways, like, oh, this was the problem, this is the remedy. Or this is the problem, you're just stronger now. That's like, for example, Slayer tasks and Slayer VIP tickets. Okay, maybe now you just get the choice of 2 Slayer tasks at level 70. Awesome. So now that solves that problem. Not just we're removing Slayer VIP tickets, which provided you the ability to get 2 Slayer tasks. You will just no longer ever be able to pick a Slayer task. That is the problem that is essentially happening with removing a lot of the dailyscape stuff, changing Viswax, changing all the gameplay loop, and like slowing things down. Is because that loop of what you were doing regularly is just changed. When people's rhythms and behaviors get changed, it's frustrating all the way around, right? So I think if they're gonna keep doing this throughout the year, they definitely gotta like introduce ways to make it cohesive. They gotta do it fully. I'm not a developer. I don't make games. I play them and I talk about them. And I can definitely, but I also understand genuine frustrations. That's my overall take about it. So I think if you have to old schoolify, I don't want to see an old schoolification of my game like this because I play RuneScape 3 because it's quicker, it's got different qualities and aspects to it, and I want to see those qualities and aspects amplified and better. That's what I like to see. Because this is a very unique game that can't happen. If there's a few things and aspects as old school does well, for example, old school does a very good job of. Fat Squad, thank you so much for raid. I'll talk about in a minute. Old school does a very good job of introducing a world of like where you have to go a lot of places because there's not a lot of instance locations for old school. A lot of locations in old school and other MMOs in general are like open world. You're gonna see people all the time. You may not interact with them, but you will see them. RuneScape 3 has a big problem of like every single thing everybody does is fucking instanced because nobody wanted to like be interrupted or crashed anymore when they're doing bosses, when they're training their skills and doing activities. They didn't want to get crashed anymore because it disrupted their XP per hour. And so then they started introducing instant spaces. I think going away with instant spaces and everything that comes in is bad. Because the game feels more single player. If I want a single player game, I'm gonna go play Fallout 4. I'm gonna go play Skyrim. I'm gonna go play Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna go do something that is not this. I want to interact with people. I want to see people. I've been seeing like the same 3 people as I'm doing these coup scrolls, and I love it because I'm seeing these guys go around doing their thing. I see them existing. Like that's fine. That's the kind of thing I would like to see. If they have to take aspects like that and make that old schoolified, I am not upset about it. So, but I don't want to see them like just throttle everything and yada yada yada. But that's just my take. That's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. Just all I'm saying.